Good morning and welcome back to a new video. This is teacher Farah Zuraiqi from Oxford Schools and I hope you're doing super well. Alright kids, today we will do the last part of 2 of everything. And in this video we'll be covering pages 497 to 503. I hope you already have your Journeys Common Core Students book with you and a pencil. Now let's get started. So previously, in the previous video, the last thing that we talked about how Mrs. Hacktack fell into the pot when she got startled by Mr. Hacktack and she got doubled. So she got cloned when she fell into the pot. Now the same thing happened to Mr. Hacktack. So let's see what's going to happen next. Both Mrs. Hacktacks rushed to rescue him. Each grasped an ankle, and together they pulled him out. There were 2 more legs in the pot, so they pulled out the other Mr. Hacktack too. It is funny how this pot at the beginning of the story was such a huge blessing. Now it is a troublemaker for them, because the Hacktacks cloned themselves by mistake. Just what use does one Mr. Hacktack have for another? Mr. Hacktack cried angrily. This pot is not as wonderful as we thought it would be. Now even our troubles are beginning to double. But his wife had been thinking while he was yelling. So Mr. Hacktack has been yelling for almost the whole story, and he's very angry, like almost all the time. On the other hand, Mrs. Hacktack was super smart and clever, as her husband said, because she always thinks about the solution. And now she's trying to find the solution for this problem. So while Mr. Hacktack was super busy yelling, she was thinking of what this might benefit them. So what does Mr. Hacktack do when the pot starts causing problems? He starts yelling and just be angry. And what does Mrs. Hacktack do? She thinks of a solution for the problem because every problem has a solution. Calm down, she said. She's trying to calm him down while he's furious. It is good that the other Mrs. Hacktack has her own Mr. Hacktack. Perhaps we will become best of friends. After all, we are so alike. He'll be a brother to you, and she a sister to me. With our pot we can make 2 of everything, so there will be plenty to go around. So how did Mrs. Hacktack act when Mr. Hacktack was super angry and furious? She tried to calm him down. She tried to find a solution for the problem and tried to think clearly without the anger. So, who finds all the solutions for the problems? Mrs. Hacktack. So earlier in the story, Mr. Hacktack said that his wife was clever. Would you say she's clever now? And explain. I would say yes, because she's trying to find a solution for every problem, and she's trying to be calm and calm her husband. And she's trying to make him not to worry about anything, and she's explaining how they're going to be all friends. And that is what they did. The Hacktacks built 2 fine new homes. Each house had identical teapots, rice bowls, silk embroideries, and bamboo furniture. From the outside, the houses looked exactly alike, but there was one difference, which was the pot. The pot made of brass, exactly. Hidden in one house was a big brass pot. Of course, the Hacktacks were always very careful not to fall into it again. In case you didn't know them, this is the bamboo furniture. the rice bowl, and the silk embroideries. Okay, so what problem do Mr. and Mrs. Hacktack have in this part of the story? After they cloned themselves, they didn't know what to do with the new version of them, and they didn't know where to put them or what to do with them, and they had no place to put them in. And now, after Mrs. Hacktack found the solution, she's going to build them. They are going to build them a home, and they're going to provide identical household items, except for the magic pot, of course. But they're super fair. They are providing the new Hacktacks with everything they own. So they will have another identical household. Except for what? The magic pot. Now the new Hacktacks and the old Hacktacks did become good friends. The neighbors thought that the Hacktacks had grown so rich that they decided to have two of everything, even themselves. But were they really rich? No, they weren't. So what happens to the new Hacktacks at the end of the story? They are super. The old Hacktacks provided them with a house, and they just moved into their new home. And how do you think the original Mr. and Mrs. Hacktack feel? They feel really happy because now they have what? Friends! And this is the end of the story. Here are the neighbors around the old and new Mr. Hacktack. I hope you liked this story as much as I did. I love you so much, kids. Goodbye.